Okay, I think our jingle is cool actually. Welcome to our first episode. This is our podcast, New European Solidarity Network. My name is José and I'm here with Paula.
Hello.
We're going to start by presenting ourselves, saying why we're doing this. And the objective of this podcast is to share a little conversation of fellow volunteers in Europe and to share our experiences with you. So, would you like to say something about the network that we're in, Paula?
All right. So this podcast is done by us. So as José said, José and me, we are part of the activity department of the European Solidarity Network. This is a network, like basically we were founded last year in March, so almost 1 year and a bit more. And it was like we were invited, 20 people, I think 20 young people were invited by the European Commission to set up a community around the European Solidarity Corps. What this is, maybe you heard about it, maybe not. We will also explain.
Well, you will hear about it now.
Yes.
So.
True. It's a great program. And so since 1 year we are working in Europe, like we are mixed nationalities. So I am from Germany, for example.
Yeah.
And
I'm from Portugal.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we're kind of trying to build our own network of young people in Europe and share cool experiences together, help others, and hopefully we can help those of you who are listening to this podcast. I think what you can expect from the podcast now is something, well, just experience of young people in Europe, honestly, because we're not professionals. This is our first time recording a podcast, but I hope it's fun for us. It's already being fun, but also for you who are listening. So would you like to add something on the topic? Paula?
Maybe also you can check out after listening to this podcast or where you're listening to this podcast, to check out the Facebook and Instagram account of European Solidarity Network. And there you can find much more what we were doing in the past and maybe also what we will do in the future.
Yeah, and if you want, you can also get in contact with us personally. So feel free to reach out. I think one question that probably people will be asking themselves would be, what actually do we think, or what is our conception of European solidarity, and what is this volunteering that we are all talking about? Can you introduce the world to European Solidarity Corps and the volunteering program that the European Union has?
Yeah, all right. So actually it's a very new word. It's the follow-up or a new program.
Yeah.
Before it was the European Voluntary Service, EVS in short. And now it's the European Solidarity Corps, which is basically a voluntary program founded by the European Union for young people between 18 and 30. So if you have this age, you can go abroad and do lots of programs, different activities. It's amazing.
Yes.
So it's very various. It has a big variety of program. So you can work in the nature with children, with elder people, or whatever. So there's a
you can choose, and you choose your own country. It's a really, really good experience, and it can be from 2 months or even 1 to 12. So you have a lot of, if you want half a year off in your studies or before going to work, or even in between works or something that you want to do, it's the perfect opportunity to, I would say, get out of your comfort zone, explore something new, and meet people that otherwise you wouldn't meet if not for this opportunity, honestly.
Exactly.
So,
really
on that note, I would like to ask you, why did you do this volunteer, or why were you part of this volunteering experience?
All right. So for me, I think it's basically like lots of German youngsters who finished their high school. And like personally, I didn't have such a concrete plan what I would like to do after high school, because I could do everything, but I couldn't decide. So I wanted to take a year off and go abroad. So in Germany, this is not like other countries, but in Germany we have a lot of volunteering opportunities. And the ESC is very small and unpopular, but nevertheless I found it. And I did it because, as I said,
Where did you go?
To Hungary. Sorry, I didn't mention that. To Hungary for 1 year, so 12 months, the maximum, in a small village called Nagyvárjon. Very nice one, a very nice project. I worked in 2 primary schools teaching German and English language, and worked in a youth center in the village. This was nice, and basically, to take off and don't continue right after school with the university. That were the main reasons, of course.
But now you're already in university.
Yes, and also I can add, I'm actually more fond of this European Union idea, like connecting, keeping together. So it was the perfect opportunity for me. And what about you, José?
And I think, before I answer that question, I think one good thing about this volunteering experience is that you actually have the opportunity to do different things and not really think about what others will expect of you, and just do something different, basically. And I when I did my project, I had already finished university, my bachelor degree that I finished in Portugal. And since I had done my Erasmus program in Italy, and since I was kind of unemployed and didn't want to follow the corporate path that a lot of people were following, and didn't want to go on with the master's degree, I decided, okay, why not, do something different? And this volunteering opportunity came up. And I applied just for one, actually, in Italy, and I got accepted. And it was, at first I expected it to be a little bit of a repetition, in the sense that I wouldn't get out of my comfort zone, because I had already lived in the country, in the same region. But honestly, it was a complete different experience compared to Erasmus. Because, in Erasmus you're studying, and volunteering, it's just, you're on your own. Well, not on your own, you have a lot of guidance as well, but you're more independent, and you have your pocket money, and you can travel. You just it's almost as if you had a real job, but it's volunteering, and it's for a good cause. So,
and what exactly did you do? Did you do in Italy, and where? So
I did something, or the project was about international cooperation, because my association, it has relation, it acts on both Africa and Italy. So we have projects I think of we, because it will always be my association as well. But Guardavanti, that's the name of the association, they have projects in Italy. They build schools and guarantee, they have this long distance adoption, where you can pay yearly so that the kids can go to the school, give them food, and so on. And then in Italy we have projects at the schools, and we have a fundraising campaign during Christmas. And it was a lot of fun, actually, because it was a lot of different things happening in a lot of different topics and approaches to volunteering, actually.
And did you learn Italian? So say it again, how long was your project?
It was 1 year as
1 year
well.
as well. And did you learn, or
I
did you manage to catch up some
yes,
Italian?
more than catch up, I would say.
Nice.
But no, yeah, because I had started learning when I was doing on my Erasmus program, and then I continued when I went back to Portugal, and then well, I practiced and yeah, but I thought I was good with my Italian before I went there, and I wasn't bad. But once I went to Italy, and that year made me so much better actually. I think that it's not until you live in the country and you're forced to, or not even you're forced, you force yourself to speak the language, that you can actually improve it and learn it fully. What do you think?
That's super true. So, like with my experience, it's a bit different because before I didn't know any of Hungarian, and in the beginning,
And it's not as easy as Italian.
oh no, it's like fucking complicated and hard. Like I would say, like if you're not a native tongue, you'll never learn it properly. But anyway, so before I went to Hungary, I started a bit like studying, okay, in the internet, looking around. But unfortunately, there's not much about Hungarian in the internet because it's very unpopular. But in the beginning, also, I was like, I never learned this language; it's too hard. But what you were saying, like you're forced to speak, or like in my case, for listening. So I think I spoke just in the last 2 months, or actively spoke. But it's impressive. So I played in a youth orchestra and I sang in a choir, Hungarian, in the next
Wow.
city.
In Hungarian?
In Hungarian. And it was
Wow.
so cool because, for example, in the orchestra, you don't need very much the language, just 1, 2, 3, 4
Yeah.
when the conductor is counting. And it was so cool because we, for example, made a concert trip to Bulgaria. And I was just with Hungarian youngsters, and then I was really
that's
forced to speak.
amazing.
And it was so cool. Of course, like it's very basic and lots of mistakes, but nevertheless, and the Hungarians are always super happy if you try to speak Hungarian, and this keeps me also really motivated. And now at university, luckily, I found a girl from Hungary, and now sometimes we meet on Zoom and talk a bit Hungarian. So this I really
that's so
never
nice.
imagined. Yeah.
I think everyone likes when you try to speak their own language. They will find your mistakes, but they will be so glad that you're trying at least, that they will be just happy and they want to talk to you as well.
Exactly.
That I like the thing that you mentioned about this event that you went to Bulgaria. Was it part of your program or not?
No, it was just my like free time. And I also of course, we had to pay the bus and it was a hotel. It was a youth music festival or something. But but the best thing, the orchestra, I think they were so happy that they had a tuba. So I play tuba. This is an instrument, and it's like a very big trumpet, and it's not so often. So they were very happy that they had me. So they said, "Oh, you don't have to pay anything," and I was like, "Okay, it's
wow,
it was for me. It was not that much because compared to German stuff, it's a bit more." Pricey friendly in Hungary. And they said, "Oh no, you don't have to pay anything," and I was like, "Wow, cool." And this was such amazing. A nice trip. It was also over my birth. No, not we arrived before my birthday then, but it was quite beginning of June, and 1 week in Bulgaria. I think I would never have gone
amazing.
To there. It was super.
Nice. Well, at least not in those circumstances. Yeah. It's so nice that I'm also remembering some of my experiences, not as intense or like important as this one, but I also had like a lot of things that happened just because I was there, and I decided to go. Like, why should you wait for? If you have an opportunity, you should just take it. And I think we can actually start saying why people should join or like have an experience like ours. I know this is, what we said about our experience was very vague, I think, even though we said some examples, but what would you mention as like recommendations for people to participate or volunteer in Europe?
Yeah, for sure, just go for it. I had many, of course, volunteers because I lived in a flat together with other volunteers, and some of them before they were very anxious. Like, my English is not that good, and I don't want.
There's always a volunteer that says that.
Yes.
But like it makes no difference.
No.
Because
And it's so nice because you have this international spirit, and it just doesn't matter how good you speak English. Because I mean, a bit, yes, but it's like, hey, we are all in this together, and it doesn't matter. So,
but then, at least for me in Italy, it was cool because English was definitely not the language we spoke, even with other volunteers. I mean, sometimes yes, but a lot of the times it was Italian.
That's nice.
It doesn't. Wow. I mean, of course, it depends on the group that you're in and the people that are around you on that year or that project. But yeah, with just most like 2 months in, people were just like forcing themselves to speak Italian, and well, because most of the people were like Spanish or French or me Portuguese, so it wasn't so hard. But yeah, it's good that it doesn't matter if you know English, or you can always find a way to talk to someone if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. Interesting. No, because like my mates, like other volunteers, they were from very different countries. Like we had one from Uruguay, one from India as well, because they had some Beyond Europe project, which were really cool. And also like France, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, very mixed. So concerning the language, it's very good to make it easy.
Yeah. No, but I mean, we also had German people in Milan. Yes, I didn't say where I was. I wasn't volunteering in Milan, but there was a bigger group of volunteers in Milan because I was like 50 kilometers away, and there was a group of Germans there, and they were also forcing themselves to learn, like to speak Italian. Of course, it was more difficult for them, but they tried, and it's so amazing,
yes,
you know.
It is.
Of course, you use English, but well, you can try all options.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. But maybe also another reason why to do a voluntary service is also what you were mentioning. Like you can try yourself out. You can do things which you never done before. So in my case, it was like this because before I didn't work so much with children, and in the school I obviously worked with children, and it was really nice because before I thought like, maybe you can become a teacher or something. So it also helped me like concerning finding maybe my future job or something.
Yeah,
this was really nice. Yeah. And what we also did mention, which is kind of important, that it's completely free of charge or something. Like you don't have to pay anything for this. It's
I mean, you don't have to pay. Basically, what you have to do is just work. They give you money and they give you a house, and you have like. For me, it's one of. I mean, I hate ranking things because every time that I think about a part of my life, I think of it as like one of the best experiences. But this was definitely like one experience that I wouldn't be me right now if I didn't have that. Like I changed so much in that year for ways that I couldn't even imagine. For example, I mean, we all know that there's a problem with the environment and so on. But I never was so like worried about it or like focused on my actions. And I was living with another volunteer, and she was so detailed about how you should do things, and like a lot of things. So I mean, I became aware about like not only how to recycle, well, that's obvious, but like actions that you can do to stop polluting or like do bad to the environment. And as well, like I was not very fond of the idea of veganism or vegetarianism. And now I can say
You're
that
vegetarian.
I am kind of, no, I'm not, but I'm half, you know? So it's like, and in the beginning, I would say like, those people are crazy. And now I can kind of, I not only understand them, but I sometimes behave and like eat like them. So like, it's a change of mindset that this program allows you to have. I mean, of course, not everyone becomes a vegan when you go on the volunteering project in Europe, but like I think this experience allows you to just get out of your comfort zone, get out of like the box that you were in your own country, and just experience new things and like start to think, why was I so skeptical about this before? You know? And I think it allows you to be a little bit more open-minded and understanding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I would definitely do it again if I would get the opportunity.
Oh shit, I would like to do it like forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Not forever, but it's a really great experience. Yes. I mean, I would like to do it again as well. So I think it's time, because I think we're running out of the 20 minutes that we have for this podcast. Would you like to say something else to conclude this conversation?
Maybe if you get the hook of it, you can check it out, European Solidarity Corps, in the internet, and then get into action. This is maybe a nice motivating word.
Yes.
It's a great experience, and if you have questions, you can always reach out to us, the European Solidarity Network. And thank you for listening. That would be my closing words.
Thank you for listening. We hope we'll see you in 2 weeks when the next episode comes out. Hopefully hopefully not. We can reveal that already, with a new person in the conversation. We'll keep changing the people in the conversation every episode, so it doesn't get boring, because maybe you're not so interested in me and Paula. But well, I hope we enjoyed. Is that it, Paula?
Yes.
Shall we say goodbye?
Goodbye. Okay. Thank you for listening.
Bye.
Then.
Thank you for listening.
See you next week.
And see you next time. Bye.
Bye.